Well, I
Uh-huh.
did $22,000 I done took my team out. So I took them on a vacation the week before so we can gear up and we can be in Miami. And we did that show. When I tell you, I told you I just invested $22,000 in this, right? My
Mm-hmm.
team, client, product, everything. Ask me how much I made.
Oh no, when you went to Bronner Brothers? I don't know how much. Look,
$625.
really?
$625. My inventory was damaged. My butters had melted everywhere because the carrier company delivered my packages a day early. Thank God nobody stole them.
Oh my.
When I tell you everything that could go wrong, went wrong, literally in the middle of the floor having a nervous breakdown. I couldn't hide it. I couldn't get to the bathroom fast enough before I started crying. I had spent my mortgage money, but it was my greatest blessing because I met my mentor, AJ, from Meltdown. So when I tell you it's about the connections,
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get authentic answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. Join me every week as me and my special guest reveal the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry, from the ups and downs of their journey to the nitty-gritty of their struggles and triumphs. We're spilling the tea on it all, and most importantly, having fun while doing it. You ready?
Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty here, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, on today's episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I have the pleasure of having Jai Ellis in the Friends in Beauty guest chair. So Jai is the founder and CEO of 5 Star Beauty Collection and EllisJai Unisex Haircare. With a little over 3 decades in the beauty industry, she just became the first African-American woman from the DMV area to launch a men's hair care line in a big box store. So I can't wait to hear all about it. Welcome to the Friends of Beauty podcast, Jai.
Thank you, beautiful. It is a pleasure. Thank you so much. That's a great intro, I must say.
Thank you. And I feel like that's just a snippet, of course, of everything that you do, but just kind of summarize it a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I definitely have my hands on a lot of stuff right now, but the most significant right now is definitely getting these products into the Walmart.
I know
So
that's right.
we're definitely capitalizing on the DMV in the Walmarts, and so that's been a great journey. I went to Bentonville, Arkansas, which everyone knows there's nothing in Bentonville but
Like
Walmart.
Arkansas.
That's it. That is it. And so that's been my focus right now, and I'm still taking on my regular clients and everything at 5 Star Mobile Salon.
Okay.
But to get these products together, this is a whole entire journey all together.
Oh my God. Well, we go dive into it in a little bit. We're gonna start off with some icebreakers so the Friends of Beauty audience can get to know you a little bit outside of what you do professionally.
All
So
right.
the first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
Random facts. I'm actually pretty shy. That's 1. 2, I absolutely love to cook. And 3, I'm pretty goofy.
Okay. Shy, goofy, loves to cook. Okay.
Yes.
What's like a dish that you make like not consistently, but like really good, like every single time that people are like, I need you to make that for me. I need you to make that.
That's the macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
So I do 2 versions. So I do a crumpet macaroni and cheese, and then I'll do a regular, actually it's 3. So the crustacean on top of it. So you put the Parmesan cheese on top and you let it brown over a little bit, the ooey gooey sauce. And then
Okay.
I do one that I usually do for the summer, and I put shrimp in it. And so it's kind of like 2 meals in one. And then I do the traditional macaroni and cheese. All 3 of them are always hits. I'm like, you all know I do know how to make other meals, right? But that's the
But
one
it's
that
that one.
they always call for.
Okay, so we know where we're going for the cookouts and for the family gatherings for the holidays to get our mac and
Absolutely.
cheese. What do people, aside from cooking, because obviously you're a good cook, what do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
Listening to people. So
Mhm.
I have a tendency, I'm the person that everyone calls like, hey, well, well, what do you think about this? And I'm like, y'all keep trusting me with y'all. I'm
Mhm.
going through life like you all are going through, but I like to think that people feel like I'm a solid friend.
Oh, I
So
love that. I love that. And I feel like that's like every time I ask that question, it's really like a common consensus amongst us beauty professionals that we
hmm
just make people feel comfortable. People just feel comfortable telling us their business and coming for advice and all of those things.
yes, all the time. I feel like we need to open up a whole nother little segment for counseling services because I mean that's what we essentially are. We're
Yep.
counselors. They will
Yep.
tell us anything from A to Z.
Yep, there's actually a young lady named Dr. Afia and Billy Shaka. She was on the podcast, but she's a hairstylist, but she's
Okay.
also a psychologist. So she
Oh
developed this
wow.
what she calls first aid techniques. She teaches beauty professionals how to kind of identify those signs of maybe depression or maybe mental health issues and stuff within their clients since they are spilling all their guts to us.
Right.
Like we are the people who could probably recognize those things and like guide them and direct them in the right, direction to get some help. So she
hmm
does that.
Oh, I
So she's
love
like
that.
out
I
here
definitely love
certifying
that.
people and everything with, the skills to do that.
Yeah, that's
Right?
beautiful.
Okay, cool.
Listen, that's a whole other niche right there.
Yeah,
That is.
super cool. When is the last time that you did something for the first time?
Ooh, for the first time. Oh, that was last month.
Okay. What
So
was it?
last month we went skydiving. Um,
Girl,
I missed the experience because my eyes was closed the entire time, and I'm on the back of this stranger, and yeah.
I can't
So that
go.
was that was the first time, and will be the last time. So
How far up did y'all go?
we went 3,000 feet.
Okay, I guess that's not that
Was it
bad.
3,000 or
3,000.
30,000? It might be 30,000 because we had to go up into Shenandoah Mountains. And
Okay.
then, you get up there and you're on the platform or whatever, and they take off. So it's like a real plane. Like a real
Mm-mm.
plane, and they just drop you out. And he said, I'm gonna count to three.
And
He
he
said
jumped on
one,
two.
and I was over it. I was over it.
See, I know the trick now. I know that they'll jump on three, so I would be
They do
expecting
not.
probably like two.
They're gonna start from 3, 2, 1. So they're gonna jump on three or one. You never get to two.
Mm,
Ever.
mm.
Ever.
I'm over here
So
getting chills because I just cannot. I'm not jumping out of a plane unless it's an emergency.
I'm telling you. I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I did it before. That was like one of those dates when I was in the world of dating. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then chickened out when I was like, so about that, no, I'm not gonna do this. And so I
Yeah.
was all geared up and everything to go. And I said, nope, I'm not gonna do it. And so I went last month and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna conquer this and just be done with it. And he strapped me on his neck. He said, you trust me? I said, no, but okay.
For
And he
real.
jumped on one. I said, I don't trust you.
That's exactly why I don't trust you.
Exactly.
That is so funny.
So that
What
it was
is
good though.
that? I just can't. I always tease people and tell them I did the indoor skydiving before, and that was enough for me because that was just like too much
Really?
already. And I was like, if I can't handle this, I know I can't do the real thing.
But it's different. It is a different feeling because at least you have more control in the what is that? I fly or
Yeah, that I
something.
fly in that little tube.
Yeah. So you have a little bit more control and you can touch the glass to kind of maneuver around. But
Yeah.
in the real world, you better pull that string when it's time, and you have to really pay attention to them instructions. I was just glad I was on somebody else's back. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah. So what did that experience like? Did it transform the way that you approach things when you're a little bit afraid or
Yeah,
apprehensive about things?
I have really. I'm telling you, over the past, I want to say the past 10 years, I have been pushing myself to do things that I would normally be too afraid to do or apprehensive about. Because sometimes we have a tendency to psych ourselves out of going for the gusto. We know that we could really excel in these areas, but then you're
Mhm.
like, oh, you know what? I'm this age now, or I didn't gain a couple pounds, or we found all these excuses of why we can't, when realistically we can. And
Right.
so every time I one of those little things just kind of creep up, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do it. Like
Okay.
whatever. I'm
I
just gonna
love
get
that.
out here. And you know what? If it doesn't look as gracious as I want it to look, at least I did it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've been challenging myself. So in my 40s, I've been hitting it.
I know that's
I
right.
I am enjoying in my 40s more than I think I've enjoyed my 20s and 30s. I
Oh,
promise you.
I love that. I love
I
that. Wow.
promise you. Yes.
Okay. So if you weren't the CEO of Five Star Beauty Collection, you have your mobile salon and everything, what else could you see yourself doing after 30 years?
Oh, after 30 years. I did really well in the engineering industry. So I'm a civil engineer as well.
Okay.
Um, that culinary arts, I did that for about 6 years.
Oh,
I have a background in different things, and so I I think I just kind of been one of those people that's like, you know what, if you tell me I can't do it, let me show you that I can. So
uh-huh.
it was the same thing. I recall being in high school, and you know how you do the placement test and everything. And I scored extremely well in engineering, architect type of areas, right? And I recall this teacher of another race.
Hey, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I need you to do something really, really important for me, like right now. I need you to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and let the people know how much you love the Friends of Beauty podcast. See, in the podcast streets, I'm gonna let you know something. If you don't leave a review, then people don't know that the show exists, and then the show won't grow. Reviews are so essential to the continued success of the Friends of Beauty podcast, and plus, I really just want to know what you think about the podcast. I appreciate all the DMs, but a 5-star review would be even better. I would love to read your review on the show and give you a shout out for being a loyal listener. And if it's not a 5-star review, don't even worry about it. All right, don't even worry. Just go ahead and send me an email, honey. We ain't got time for that. If you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and even leave a comment to share a takeaway from something that you learned so far. If you don't subscribe or give a thumbs up, then the YouTube streets don't know that the Friends of Beauty podcast exists either. You see how this is going? This is a group effort, and I appreciate you so, so much. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Let's go ahead and get back into the episode.
Say
Uh-huh.
that. And well, I think you'll be good at nursing. Your people is good at such and such. And I said, well, why wouldn't I be good at this? Because this is where I scored the highest at, and I really like this, and I would be interested.
Yeah.
And it was trying to persuade me to do something different. I said, well, you know what? Okay. And I was a little bit shook, and I went home and I talked to my mother, and she said, well, I tell you what, she told you what you couldn't do, what you gonna do.
I know that's right.
So to me, that was that unspoken language, like, well, what you gonna show her? Because I know
Mhm.
who I raised. You're learning who you are. So show up and show out and show her who you are. And
Right.
that's what it was. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna go. And I did it, graduated at the top of my class. And I was surrounded by a bunch of men. So that was another like, notch on my belt. Like I'm the only woman in this industry. And even going into the industry, it was really a very few of women, Black women,
Hmm.
Black people as a civil engineer. And it was great. It was great for me. I excelled at it, but it stressed me out more. One, I wasn't mature enough to be able to handle that type of stress. It was ego for me
Oh,
because I was
okay.
told I couldn't do it.
Okay.
And I wasn't mature enough where I could accept the journey and appreciate all of the doors that it could open. Meanwhile, God is still saying, well, you know what? You're a little crazy, but you're teachable, and I'm a horn in on these skills and give you everything that you need, but you're going to pivot. And I knew that I would, but I didn't have a passion for engineering. I was really good at it though.
Okay.
That was the difference. And
Got you.
so at 20, 26, 27, I retired
From
from
engineering.
engineering,
Okay.
retired from engineering, and I just noticed that I was still doing hair. I was still making wigs for cancer patients at Washington Hospital Center. I was still doing things that gave me purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
next thing you knew, I was making just as much money as an engineer doing hair, and my engineering checks was just going into the bank. And so I just said, well, you know what? And then I had a panic attack, right?
Oh no.
Um, yeah, I had a panic attack, and I was diagnosed with neurologic syndrome, where your kidneys hold on to the sodium and it doesn't purge out of your system. And so with that and just the stress and everything like that, again, I'm young. I'm burning a candle at both ends. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm everything, right? And my body shut down.
No.
It shut down. It shut down. And I was pregnant at the time. and I lost that pregnancy due to the stress and all of that stuff. And then I said, you know what? Is it really worth it? Is it worth it for you to show these people that you can do this job? You're equally as capable, or is it more important for your mental health and you doing something that you love where you're helping people? And I had to make a decision. Do you walk away from making $200,000 a year at that age?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't own a house. I didn't own nothing. And I'm just making crazy money. And I just said, you know what? It isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. You gave this place 6 years. Now it's time for you to walk away. It's either that or your mother's going to be burying you.
And imagine like the people that stay in there for like a life, like their whole career, like maybe 30 years or
I'm
40
not going to be able to do
years
it.
until
I'm
they
not going to be able to do
retire.
it. What's retirement if you're beat down and you're looking older than what you are?
Right. If you can't enjoy it,
If you can't enjoy it, you're not traveling. And I'm the first in, I'm the first out because I had something to prove. I had something to prove because it was an industry of old white men. It's the old white boys club, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, and all of the other women that were there were either administration or receptionists or something like that. I was really the only one holding down a prominent position, and I'm African American. And when I looked at throughout the company's scope, it was only like 3 other Black people in the industry.
Wow.
And I'm like, is it worth it? Like literally, I'm driving to this building and I'm having a panic attack. And it was so funny because
Like what was going on in there that was causing you so much stress?
It was just the stress because in a lot of it, I'm gonna tell you now, a lot of it I put on myself because I felt like I had something to prove. I had to learn everything that I could learn. I wanted to know what these people have learned within 40 years. I wanted to learn it in a year. I wanted to close multi-million-dollar deals, which I achieved. Every pressure that I put on myself, I achieved because failure wasn't an option, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was unnecessary. So my day started at 7 o'clock. I'm there at 6 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And I'm there until like 7 o'clock at night because my work is going to be done first. And I will not leave until it's done. These people will not have any reason to say anything about me. And when I decide to exit, it's going to be on my own terms.
And I feel like that's just I think that's the unspoken pressure that a lot of Black women and just Black people in general put on themselves because we know that we have to be like 10 times better. We can't give them any excuse to be like, oh None. She ain't on her game. At all. Hold on. So when did like hair come into play? Were you already doing hair before you became an engineer?
Yeah, so I was already doing that. I was already in the hair industry. So literally, like, I guess a lot of stylists, we're born into this. Either you have a love for it, your parents have done hair. It's just in us, right? Mm-hmm. So I was doing that even as an engineer. And I was just like, I can't make any money doing hair, whatever. But it was a lie.
So were you working in the salon?
Nope. You want to know how I paid for college?
Oh my gosh.
Doing hair. I swear to you, on everything I love. And my mother was an RN then, and I had 3 other siblings, and the money just wasn't there. So literally, I have paid for 4 careers of schooling on my own. So either through hair, scholarships, grants, whatever. I've done it on my own, and I just told my mom. I said, I don't. She said, how many degrees do you need? Like, when are you coming out of school? Are you going to be a career student? And she would always just joke me. And before I left engineering and I had my final panic attack, this is when I found out I had New Frolic syndrome, right? She says, well, you know, that must be the white side of you because Black people used to stress. Mother, please.
That's so funny. And that's what people think though. That's
Yeah.
the reason why we get treated the way we do, because it's like, oh, Black women are so strong, we can handle it. Like, no, we human too.
We are human too. We are resilient, and we don't have to work as hard as we do if we just kind of put the ego aside and just realize, like, hey, people are actually out here to help you if you open up your mouth to say, hey, can you help?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes people will be like, oh, well, I'm gonna help you, and we get let down. Yes, we do. But when you form your circle, you rely on that circle, because your circle will never let you down.
Yeah.
It'll never let you down. And you don't need a whole bunch of people. I have a firm starting 5 that has been with me for years. When I tell you thick and thin, ups and downs, we can have kick down, drag out fights. And I tell you, they always gonna show up, and I'm always gonna show up for them.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love it. So
And
when
that's,
did you really dive really deep into focusing on being a cosmetologist?
I excuse me, this allergies is tearing me up. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I've always been into it because it was really fast money. It allowed me to be creative. And once I left that job, it was like I really had a life decision to make. And I just said, you know what? I just let me focus on this. And so here's the thing. My very first real paying client was when I was in college, and her mom, get this, it was so weird. And we're still friends till this day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was in college, and she says, hey, my mom is going through chemo. And I said, okay. So her cancer came, so I was making wigs and everything for her. And so I said, well, let me just go head on, because I became a cosmetologist in high school. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna make her some wigs. And it was more like family for me. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna do this to make a living or anything like that. And it just started from word of mouth to word of mouth to word of mouth to word of mouth. And I'm like, well, I do have class. I can't keep over here to these people cancer centers and stuff. And it was beautiful because they all trusted me. I'm a young girl. I'm still wet
Mm-hmm.
behind the ears. I don't I'm trying to go to the mall and go shopping. I'm not
Yeah.
thinking about making no career or anything like that. And it just kind of it took off. It really just took off. And her cancer went into remission. But
Great.
guess what? It came back 8 months later. 8 months later. But 8 months later, the day she found out her cancer was back, she found out she was pregnant. So she had to either decide to either carry this pregnancy or end the pregnancy.
Mm.
Thank God she did not end the pregnancy. This woman was so rooted in her faith. I
Wow.
love her. I love, love, love her. And she kept her pregnancy. When I tell you, this man is 29 years old right now,
The baby.
the baby,
Oh.
29 years old.
Hey, friend. I really need your help with something. I'm planning to host my very first travel retreat in 2024, and this is why. I live in DC, but I love to travel. My last few trips, I've gone to Mexico, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, but I'm starting to get that urge to hop on a plane again very soon. And I've been thinking about what I want for myself and what I want for Friends in Beauty in 2024, and that is to make a bigger impact and build deeper connections while doing the things that we love. Like, what better way to do that than on a bomb trip, making new memories together, learning from one another, experiencing new cultures, and laying out in the sun? What I really want is for us to get into the habit of resting, recalibrating, and celebrating ourselves more. We work so hard on a day to day basis, and I want this experience to be an all play, no work type of vibe. You feel me? I'm ready to have some fun and I want you to come along with me. Instead of catching all the highlights on my Instagram and YouTube, all you have to do is fill out a brief 2-minute survey to let me know where we should go, what your budget is, and the best time of year and what you want to do. I'll leave the link here and below in the show notes. I am super duper excited to collaborate with you on this. Let's make this retreat happen and get your passports ready because we getting up out of here.
Her cancer, they did a double mastectomy on her, and she's had no problems. She's been cancer free for years.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Yes, for years. So just to be a part of that journey, I said, you know what? This is a niche for me. This is a real passion for me. Like I'm really great at engineering, right? Engineering, business management. I'm good at all of that stuff, but I
Yeah.
didn't get butterflies from it. I got butterflies from helping people, giving people something that they had once lost. And so I started learning how to make the cranial facials, with the beards and the mustaches and all of that. And so I learned how to do that. I learned put myself in a lace wig making class. Like I really dove into it. And that was my niche. So for years I would only work with hair loss clients.
Wow.
I
Wow.
wouldn't even deal with civilians.
And that is such a gratifying and like fulfilling thing to do when you see their confidence shift. And because I
Yeah.
have my therapist right now is actually going through chemo. Like she had her
Okay.
second treatment last Friday, and we do our sessions virtually. So she was showing me like already that her hair was starting to like fall out. She had a big patch like in the back, like falling out and stuff like that. And it's so crazy because she she has like sister locks, and she literally just got the sister locks installed. Like she was like
Oh,
complaining, like, "Oh, I gotta spend all this money to get this thing done," and she got it done, and then like maybe 2 months later, she finds out that she has cancer. So like that was her concern of like, I was like, why you just don't cut your hair? Like just cut it. And like maybe somebody could do something with it. But she just
yeah.
wants to go through the process. So
And you know what? Let me tell you something. It's really hard because being being a companion for cancer patients, when you're volunteering and you're being by their side. So I do a lot of volunteer work. So I work with abused women,
okay.
and you never see it on my social media because for me, I've been homeless before, I've been in abusive relationships before, and I felt like God sent people to me. And I'm not a super religious person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very transparent. And one of those relationships almost killed me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's my honor and it's my duty to be able to go to these women and sit by their bedsides and listen to their stories with a compassionate ear.
Yeah.
Um, and just be able to share my authentic story with them. Because, a lot of times, I've actually had people say, "You too strong. You never in an abusive relationship. You this." Let me tell you something. Thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
Right.
Thank God I don't look like what I've been through. But baby, I can write about 5 books. Okay? So understand when I tell you I've been there, and when I tell you that this is the other side of that pain and that torment and what is it called? Trauma,
Right.
it feels good. It feels good. And you decide to you make a decision to shift. You make a decision to say, okay, you know that you're strong enough in certain areas, but now you need to be logical, and you either need to be smart enough to fight for yourself or crazy enough to stay with this person that is showing you that they don't love you.
Mm.
What you doing?
Like back to what you gonna do? Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
And I volunteer a lot. I've I volunteer at the homeless shelters, and I look at people the way, because in all honesty, yes, we make pretty good livings right now. I can say confidently, I do very well for myself. What I do realize is none of us is immune, and we're all just a couple of paychecks away
Okay.
from being homeless. I've been there. I've been there. I've been in abusive relationships. I have been tortured. I've been tormented. I've been sexually assaulted.
Mm.
I've been through some stuff. So
Right.
I give back. It's an honor for me to be able to give back and to speak to these people, and men and women. It's not just women. You will be surprised how many men that are in abusive relationships
Oh yeah.
and they don't talk about it
Oh yeah.
because it's
Because
a
it's
macho thing.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, and a lot of them are black men.
Yeah.
Okay,
Getting beat up.
so you just you start to look at life differently. You look at life differently, and you decide, what is it that you want? What are you here for? It's not always about money. So
Mm-hmm.
when I do so yeah, I'm in the beauty industry, right? And I do hair, I create products, I'm a chemist, so everything that I created has come from my own formulas, my creations, from my kitchen, from my basement, to now I have a full lab in Ashburn, Virginia, branching out. So I'm doing great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with that, it come with big bills. big
Okay.
responsibilities. Okay. So I still make time to give back because it's about the relationships. I'm going to make money. I
Yeah.
feel confident to know that I'm going to always make money. But will I always have those relationships to carry me to the next level, to be in the rooms that I need to move in, to be able to move with my king the way that I need to? Because I can open up doors that he can't, and
Mm-hmm.
vice versa.
Right.
You understand?
Now, I
So
always tell people the importance of building those relationships. It's so important.
it's very important. It's absolutely important because without those relationships, we dead in the water. What's a
Mm-hmm.
dollar? A dollar is really nothing but paper. If you don't have something circulating and to make residual income, we're just existing. I don't want to exist. I
Yeah.
don't want to exist. And I don't want to have young women around me looking up to me. Oh, well, she has this and she's driving this kind of car, blah, blah, blah. No, baby, what you doing with your life to where you can leave a legacy behind? What's your legacy going to be?
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. Even if you're a trash man, I want you to be the best trash person that you can be. I want you to take pride in what you do, and I want you to do it well because you don't never know. Because we all need our trash picked up. You
We all
understand?
do.
So guess what? I make sure that I treat my people that work with me, and I make sure that I keep relationships with them because without them, my house could be a whole garbage dump. It can
Okay.
be. It can be. And with hair, you go in there, people are always going to spend money on hair. Men going to always get
Yeah.
their hair cut. It's always going to be some type of revenue in the beauty
I
industry.
feel like
So
beauty,
why not
anything
make
that
it
has to
your
do with
best?
like vanity, anything that has to do with
Yeah,
love and like just well, fitness is still kind of like a vanity kind of thing.
it
Anything that has to
is
do with
vanity
vanity and
too.
falling in love or just certain type of industries are always going to be making money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm here for it. I am here for it. Matter of fact, I just reached out to the young lady that was on the Sherry Shepherd show because I'm gonna get all of this. I'm gonna get this 230 in shape. She has a fitness. It's a black woman. She's plus size. She has a whole fitness gym in DC. Look it up. It's on the Sherry Shepherd show. I wish I had her information on me,
Okay.
but I sent her the information because I'm going to join her gym. Yes, I am. And because she looks like me and she's pretty much we're pretty much the same shape, but her body is beautiful. And I
Hmm.
have watched her transformation from beginning to end, and I just absolutely love her energy when it comes across when she had her interview with Sherry Shepherd.
Okay. I
It's
love
beautiful.
that.
So another black woman in the DMV area doing her thing.
Period. Well, we have to dive deeper into this you being a chemist and
Come
formulating
on.
your own products and everything. So, what was the first product that you ever formulated once you got that under your notch like being a chemist? What was the first thing you said, "Okay, I'm going to try to make this first?"
So my very first thing was shampoo. It was my hair growth shampoo that went nowhere. Went absolutely nowhere. It was good for me. It smelled good, but it really, I was just like, I don't really like the texture of it. So
Okay.
I said, okay, well, I'm gonna try my hand at my hair growth serum, which was my very first product that I made money on. So
Okay.
it's Optimum Hair Growth and Rejuvenation Oil, then followed up by my Ayurvedic oil, which was really good because when I had come into some health problems and my hair started coming out. And
Hmm.
so my hair went from literally from about down here, my natural hair down here, because I'm lazy. I'll be the first one to tell you I am lazy. I don't want to do my own hair. That's the reason why I have hair, is because I
Hairstylists
don't
don't
like
ever
to
want to
do
do their own hair.
yeah, I'm like, I don't have time for this. And so I created the Ayurvedic and I just made a very special concoction, if you will, with the herbs. I'm deep into like my herbs and my root plants and things like that. And so that's what I did. And so my Ayurvedic is really the flagship oil is the Optimum Rejuvenation Hair Growth Oil.
Okay.
But the Ayurvedic oil shuts it down every time. It sells out at every event that I go to. And it wasn't until 2021 that I decided to start doing something for the men because I had a client that came in and he had facial alopecia, which a lot of people don't even realize and
Mm.
know about. Um, and so I said, well, you know what, let me just work on some stuff, and I'll make it a manly scent for you and
Yeah.
whatnot. And that grooming hairline for men just kind of took off because, of course, naturally, I'm gravitating towards the women and the little girls. and all of that when I was first starting off. And, and the easiest thing to make is edge control. That's the easiest thing to make without the alcohol. So I'm very conscious about like the alcohols and everything that I put in my product. So I don't. So everything is geared around length retention and added moisture. So without those things, we're not doing anything.
So most of your products now are focused towards men, for men's beards.
It's equal. It's
Okay.
equal. So I still have the women's line, but the focus has shifted. And you want to know something funny? Is that originally, so how EllisJai came to be was because I was like, oh, men don't want to buy from a beauty collection. Well, apparently men don't really care. Even when I would go to like the events and the seminars and everything, they was just buying it. They was like, oh yeah, okay. Oh, it does this. Okay. And they would just buy it. And so the week that I was planning on taking it out of rotation and then shifting it over to the EllisJai collection, it just sounds a little bit more masculine. Walmart picked it up.
Wow.
Hold
on, so were you already like in the process with Walmart?
No, Walmart wasn't on my radar.
So how did that happen? What do you mean by Walmart picked it up?
They picked the line up. Like, so there's another platform that's like it's a platform for other hold on one second. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? My phone overheated. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was that I was promoting the women's line. I was. And then I got a letter from Walmart. And then I got a call from Walmart.
Okay.
No lie. I promise you're going to think it's the most craziest thing ever. I hung up the phone. I ignored the emails and I hung up the phone.
Who is playing on my phone?
Somebody calling me from Walmart. He was like, wait, this is new. I've never had anyone to hang up on me. I was like, what is this? And so he told me his name and everything. He said, I'm a representative from Walmart, and we've been having issues with our email system, and we noticed you haven't responded. And I said, oh, what? What was this?
Because it's a lot of scams out here. So
it is a lot of scams, and I knew that for me, I didn't think that I was ready because everything that I had read as far as like entering into the big box stores. Let's not even talk about just focusing on Walmart. Target, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, all of them have certain very strict criteria.
Yeah.
And honestly and truly, so I've always had the beauty products. To just give you a little bit of background, I've always had the beauty products, but they were only utilized in the salon.
Okay.
In the salon and with my clientele base. I never thought about doing anything retail until retail came to me.
Right. Okay.
Pop-up shops are very prevalent, hair events, Bronner Brother, and all of that. And I was like, wow, I could really do this. Like,
so how did they find you?
And it just kind of took off from there. And so he said, listen, we're having an open call event. Can you get to Bentonville, Arkansas within the next 2 weeks?
They want you to come to Arkansas.
Yes. And I went there. I'm so reluctant about telling this story, but I told you I would be transparent with you. I told you I would be. So what happened is that my bank account was hacked.
Oh no.
Over $30,000. Over 30,000. And I said, I almost lost it. I felt like I was in ruins, and I literally had one more deposit to come in. When I tell you, I promise you on everything I love, it was just enough money for me to acquire 2 tickets and a hotel for the duration of the time. And I had $150 left over for food.
Hey, won't he do it?
I promise you, that's all I had. And I said, husband, how are we gonna get to Bentonville? We can't let this opportunity pass. So now I'm like panicking again, added stress to myself unnecessarily. So he says, well, we're gonna just drive. Let's just drive. We could do this. I said, okay. So he's an IT guy. And he was like, we were just going through the process of filing the police report and everything with with the bank and all of that. And so because it's a business account, they're not just giving you all of your money back like that. They're trying to figure out, like, how did this happen? What's going on, the whole nine.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have that time for the money to come back around. We needed to move and shake.
Right.
And on top of that, I had just transitioned all of my credit cards. So just needless to say, we were in the middle of transitioning, but God had a whole other plan. He was transitioning with me, right?
Okay.
So we caught the flight. The flight had to make an emergency landing. I swear you cannot make this up. Made an emergency landing in Charlotte. Nowhere near Bentonville.
I was about to say no.
We were nowhere near Bentonville. Nowhere near. And just listen to this entire story. Nowhere near. And on top of that, the next flight wasn't until 8 o'clock in the morning. Guess where we needed to be at 8 o'clock in the morning the next day?
In Kansas, Arkansas.
In Arkansas. So I said,
man.
we gotta drive. We are 5 miles away from the nearest car rental place, because the car rental place is at this small little airport, is all sold out. The AKs were there doing their thing. So they were all booked up, sold out and everything. So just so happened, we linked up. God will always do it. He will always do it. And I will always give him my praise and glory, no matter what. We just happened to be on the plane with a traveling nurse. And she was like, oh, no, we're going to have to figure this thing out. She was listening to our conversation. I was like, babe, we got to make an emergency landing. How are we going to do this? And I was talking to him, thinking I'm having a private conversation with my husband. God had her in the ears tuned in. And she said, well, my husband is coming to pick me up. We can help you all get a rental car, take you all around and whatnot. Thank God I had a corporate account. Somebody didn't pick up their rental car. And that was the only rental car that we had. And we drove.
It's just like certain things, like you just cannot make this up. You know what I'm saying? Like how just things align.
Everything aligned. But here's the funniest thing. The only credit card that I did not cancel because it was lost in my black hole of a purse was my Fuel Man card, which allowed us to get food, car repairs, rental cars, and gas. I promise you. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. And I said, you know what? We're going to do this. This is nothing but God's design right here. We had the best road trip. And on top of that, we were having some issues in our marriage. And it allowed us to talk. It allowed us to pray. It allowed us to reconnect, fall in love again. I discovered I like my husband again, because you don't always like your husband. And I'm pretty sure he didn't always like me. Yeah. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. But the cherry on top, I promise you, this has been an amazing story. So I'm actually going to sit down. I just was teasing you, like, I'm gonna start my own podcast. Yeah. But I owe it to entrepreneurs that are coming up to share my authentic story. So watch out for that. I'm gonna do a video and I'm gonna put it up. It's probably going to be a live, because I need to do it, and I've been putting it off. We actually locked in our deal on the 25th, 3 days, 25th of October, 3 days before my birthday. That was the best birthday present ever, right? I'm telling you, all of this stuff happened. And my mother and father were both scheduled for surgery. My mother had shoulder surgery. My father was having brain surgery. The same day, same time, same hour. Wow. When I tell you I was going through it, my family. Look, I'm over here getting chills. and my dad said he told the hospital, he said, my daughter is hard-headed. She got things to do. Don't let her here. Don't let her in here. I know. And I cried. I was so angry because, one, I didn't know he had kept from me that he had brain cancer. And I was angry. I was so angry. And that transcended over into my business. It transcended over into my marriage, my friendships, because I was emotionally distraught. And my mother, she's supposed to be going to Bentonville with us because that's my road dog. She goes everywhere with us. And she couldn't go. And I said, well, Mama, maybe it's just not meant for me to go. You know, if this opportunity is really for me, here I go. In my own head, it'll come around again. That's not how God's favor works.
Yeah.
It's not. And she said, I want you to go, but I want you to call me while you're in that meeting. So I called her and I was so nervous. And my husband, oh man, I wanted to wrinkle his shirt. I don't know if you know what that means, but
What's
in New
that
York,
like?
we're gonna wrinkle his shirt. And I was so mad because he was nervous and I had changed his presentation like 6 times because I didn't know what a branding deck was. So when I tell you I had to fast track and learn everything really fast because this is a whole nother realm of of uh of life. It's lifing was lifing, right? And so I didn't know what a branding deck was, a pitch deck, excuse me. And so I had to learn it real fast and figure out what it was that they wanted. And so I changed it, excuse me, up until like the last 2 hours before my meeting with Walmart. Knocked it out of the water. And I had been in corporate rooms for like all of my adult life. I have closed multi-million-dollar deals and I'm nervous to be sitting in front of Walmart, right?
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I had prepared, I had researched. So I had researched the young lady that I don't know if I can say her name, so I won't. But she's the first, and you can look this up. She's the first African American woman to ever hold such a prestigious position in Walmart.
Okay.
Young Black sister, and she's fire. She is fire. I absolutely love her. And I studied. And so I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna meet with her because I'm going under the diversity and inclusion cohort. And I did that, and so I'm preparing to meet with her and these two African American men. Well, baby, as you would see, nothing happened the way that I thought it was going to happen. So I researched her and I said, I'm going to meet her. I'm going to tell her congratulations, and just let her know, like, I really appreciate her hard work and paving the way. And nothing went the way that it's supposed to have gone. And so I said, okay, that didn't work. So I did get to meet her and wave to her when we were at open call. So they do the whole intro and everything. And long story short, these two white guys walk in. It was hilarious because in my mind, I was like, I got this, it's with my people. I can tell them all about the product. They can relate to these issues, this whole nine. And God said, that's for you. And I couldn't read them. I was like, oh God. Okay. And so my husband at the time, he's sitting there, he playing on his phone, he playing Candy Crush.
You know what?
I said, you know nothing about this presentation. If these people ask you what's going on with this product, are you going to be able to tell them? But thank God I married a very smart, intelligent man, and he has helped me. He has helped me with the formulas, the mixing, and so he knew more than I gave him credit for. So I was wrong, and I was glad to have been wrong in that area.
Yeah.
And they was like, so tell us about yourself. I said, so, well, here's my presentation. And so I had my LED business card. So that already knocked them out. I was like, and they was like, oh, this is next level.
Okay.
We never seen this kind of like this before. And I said, well, I do aim to please. Nothing is ordinary about me. And so I'm just talking. I'm just a gab, right? And I said, do you want me to tell you about who Jai Ellis is, or do you want to read about me? He said, well, whatever makes you feel comfortable. I said, well, since I'm here in the flesh, well, let me get to
it. They probably like this lady. Okay.
I don't know what came over me. Like, it was so crazy. And I stood up and I was prepared. And I bought my own screen and everything, my computer and everything, because they were saying that it wasn't a guarantee that you would have a monitor in the room. So you have to be ready, be prepared for anything. Mm-hmm. Well, we had a projector in the room, but I wasn't connected to it. So I just went on the cuff, and I got up and I'm like clicking through, boop, 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 boop. And so one of the guys that interviewed me, he said, I remember you. He said, you had that red, black, and gold on yesterday. He said, oh yeah. And you had the really nice shades on. And I was like, oh my God.
People always watching.
Always watching. And I said, ooh, I hope that's a good thing. He said, oh, you was wearing that suit. I must say, you was wearing that suit. And my husband said, yeah, I picked it out for it. No, you did not.
Ah,
You did not. And so it ended up being very easy. Once I relaxed and got out of my own head is the bottom line. And I was so deep into my presentation and just kind of interacting. We closed the deal with Walmart. We had 30 minutes. Go ahead and guess.
what?
We were done in under 10 minutes.
So they closed the deal. So y'all had 30 minutes. You did your presentation and they were like, okay, we're sold in 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That was the Q&A. I didn't even know that they were spraying the men's products and they were slathering it all over their body.
So this meeting was to say that you were going to be a part of their cohort or like to be like put into
It was a
stores.
pitch. It was a pitch.
Okay.
I didn't even know we were going to land a deal. My spirit was saying,
Oh,
there's
gotcha.
no way you're going through all of this opposition and God leave you with nothing.
Yeah, for real.
So they came in, and so out of all of the research, that's why I tell people, I don't care what other people tell you, you do your own research. I don't care if it's just repetition. You do it and you do it and you do it. Because I was told that one, you had to be in business for so long, and the hair care line wasn't in business for 2 years. The salon was,
Yeah.
but the product wasn't on the market. No one knew who Five Star Beauty Collection was, let alone EllisJai. And I was just like, why are they contacting me? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so with that, and if they don't give you your contact information, you have to ask them. So everything was totally the opposite of what transcended for us in that meeting. By the time he came in and he said, well, here's my contact information. We're going to be in touch, before I even started my presentation. And I didn't even realize the things that were taking place. I had to go back and just kind of take it all in. And then the person that I didn't think was the main person, which actually was, I'm gonna call her Miss D. He's actually her right hand man.
Wow.
Had no idea, right? And he was like, I'll be right back. And so he got up and I was like, should I wait? He said, no, carry on. Now, again, this is all in 10 minutes.
Well, during the presentation, he's like, I'll be right back. Where you going, sir? I need you to hear this.
Exactly. I'm like, well, I'm doing this. And so the guy that was staying, I'm thinking he was the man to make the decisions and everything. And he was so hard nosed and I couldn't read him. And I was like, oh man, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how this is
Yeah.
going to go. But I was still amped. Like in my spirit, I was still amped up and I kept going. And so the meeting ended and I just felt great to be able to have a personal contact, right? So I said, well, you know what? We're already ahead of the game, because a lot of people said that you have to ask them for their contact information. They came in giving me theirs. And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, I'm good with this. And I was satisfied with that. I was appreciative. And we got up because the presentation was done. He asked the questions that he wanted to ask. We shook hands. And as we were getting ready to walk out, we started out. And I was just like on cloud nine. You would have thought I had already knew I had the deal, right? And we're walking down the hall and I see Mr. A and he's walking back and I see these tickets.
Ticket.
I see 2 tickets. Well, actually, I seen one. I'm sorry. I only seen 1 ticket. And he said, I want to say congratulations officially to you for landing a deal on the spot at Walmart Open Call.
That is
Not only
insane.
did he have 1 ticket, we got 2 golden tickets.
So
Two.
what did the golden tickets do?
So the golden tickets let people know they offered you a deal on the spot. Your pitch was like everything. And so that solidifies you all going into a partnership with Walmart.
Hold on. So pause. Have you before that, had you ever done a pitch competition or anything like
Nope,
that before?
never.
And then how from the time that you got the call saying, okay, we want you to come to Arkansas, and then the time that you went, like how much time did you have to prepare like your presentation? You said 2 weeks?
2 weeks. While
2 weeks.
dealing with while dealing with a fraud case with my
You know,
bank
your
account, my life
parents.
falling apart, me screaming at the top of my lungs, telling my husband I want a divorce. I'm not happy. I don't like you anymore. And life was lifing. He's
All the
so laid back and
things.
cavalier, and I'm like, I'm the storm. And I had to sit back. I had to humble myself. When I tell you, from October till now has been a very humbling and um it's been a humbling experience. Let's
Yeah.
take Walmart off the table. It was a lot going on. So I have a biological father, and then I have a father that raised me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both are very dynamic men. They both see different sides of me. They both raised me differently, which makes me, to me, a 360 woman, and all three of them were having health issues. All three of them was having health issues, and I've adopted my niece, and so now we have this baby with behavioral issues, and so now we're back to being new parents,
Right.
and we don't know how to adapt to this. What's going on?
Yeah.
Um, and my one of my brothers was shot up, and he got caught up in a crossfire in Baltimore, Maryland, just coming home from work. So he's there. So
Mm.
I'm nurturing and catering him, catering to his gunshot wounds, and
Life was
trying to
definitely
run,
lifing.
yeah, trying to run a business, expanding a business, trying to figure out like what's going on with me. What do I want? What's my next phase? Because
Uh,
I've outgrown this, and I was stuck. I was stuck. My spirituality was being tested. My friendships were being tested. My love for my husband was being tested. Like, it was everything. I'm telling you everything. And I recognized myself. I didn't recognize myself. And this time I was battling with depression.
yeah.
Um, it was rough. It was rough. And then all of a sudden that one mustard seed came through and shifted everything. And so my husband must still like me. He might not have loved me then, but he must have still liked me, because he said, well, babe, whatever needs to happen, we're going to do this. And,
Yeah.
and 10 toes down, when I tell you, this man showed up, showed me who he was, why I chose him as a king in my life,
Yeah.
um, and why God appointed him to me, because I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to get married.
I had like the perfect question for you. This is like so perfect because someone just asked me this. One of my I have a membership group called the Trailblazers Club, and we do like master classes and like Q&A and stuff. But during our Q&A session, one of the young ladies asked me basically, how do you push through? Because like obviously we're all live having the same human experience. Not to say
Yeah,
that we're all doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, but we all experience, people being sick, family, like just all these things, but we still have to
all these
operate our
things.
business. So she was basically asking me, like, how do you separate yourself to be able, like, how do you not let the things that are going on in your business affect the personal, because you had so much
Oh,
stuff going on at the time? Like,
yeah.
how were you able to just like, okay, let me put this to the side for just a moment so that I could focus on getting this deal or focus on this Walmart thing? I know life is life thing.
Yeah.
That's not, but how do you kind of separate so that you can still, pour into what you need to do at the time and then go back to whatever needs to be taken care of, like after that?
So I'm going to say, for me,
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
thank God that I had started implementing certain changes in my life, putting up boundaries, even with family. So boundaries was like hard stop for me. Those were things that I was
Boundaries.
already working on, and getting my life organized. Because what I tell people, so when I go and I teach at these expos and at Maryland Eastern Shore, because I have a tenure there, and I go there, a few times out of the year, and I teach to the entrepreneurship groups, right? And I just tell them, like, listen, if your home life is mess, your business is going to be mess. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't just say, oh, I'm in business, so this is going to be all in order.
Yeah, and it
No, ma'am, that's
disappears.
not how that works. Your life has to be in order from A to Z. There are no shades of gray when it comes down to you being organized, to how you treat people in your personal life, to how you treat people in business. It will all merge together. It will
Mm-hmm.
always do that, because people, if you want people to really believe in you, you got to believe in you, and you have to be able to say, um, who do I want to be? Who am I really at the core of things? If
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have this business, am I still a good human being? And those are things that I had to get back rooted in. And I've learned to say, you know what, it's for me at that time, it was all about the serenity prayer. When I tell you I was raised in the church, I couldn't remember not one scripture, not one prayer. When I tell you the enemy was on me, Satan was riding me like a horse,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, all I could remember was the serenity prayer. That's it. And that's what really got me through. That's what pushed me over that hump. I started prioritizing things that I could change. Let me do them and do them well. I knew that failing wasn't an option. And I know that if my husband and I decided to separate today or tomorrow, this child still needed me. I still
Mm-hmm.
owed it to her. Failure is not an option. I've come too far. I've done too many things, and I've touched too many people to turn back now.
Okay.
And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. So you're going to have to be very uncomfortable. And when I tell you I am comfortable in my discomfort in this season at 47, baby, I am so uncomfortable. But I find that I am at my greatest, at peace, joy, happiness. And there are doors that are opening that I could have never fathomed. And
I
I
know
promise
that's
you,
right.
that's on everything that I love. And it's an amazing journey. I have now connected with the Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce. Those women have been amazing to me. God has sent people to me that helped me that I have once frowned upon.
Wow. Yeah.
It's been amazing. And and
Yeah.
and with that humility, I had to be a woman in my stilettos and go back and apologize and say, hey, I don't know what was going on with me at that time, but I owe you an apology. Thank
Mm.
God that the ones that I felt like I had done the worst to was like, we know things going on, but we've witnessed you in certain areas and we knew that something was going on. I appreciate that past, but I'm going to stand 10 toes in this. And I owe you an apology. And I pray that you are humble enough to accept my apology. And if not, I understand, but I
Mm-hmm.
need to do this because I owe it to you.
Mm. And that's growth to be able to do that. A lot of people aren't able
Oh,
to do that. Yeah. I want to go back real quick though to you pitching because
yeah.
I know I've seen a lot of pitch competitions going on. People like that's a thing now to be pitching, to get funding and all the things.
Oh,
But like
yeah.
if someone is in the same position and they're, being called to present their brand, like what are like top 3 tips that you can give for either presenting or just preparing for something like that?
Oh, I would say because every pitch competition is different. So if they don't arm you with the things that you need, what they're asking for, because a branding deck and a pitch deck are slightly different,
Okay.
be willing to ask the uncomfortable question. Well, what exactly are you all looking for? Ask the questions because that's the only way that you can really be prepared. And don't feel crazy about it. Don't feel crazy about it and be willing to push through those nerves that are going to come. That's where your greatness lies.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I can tell it. I can say to anyone that's going for a pitch competition, envisioning the audience being in their underwear, that doesn't work. you know, but I just say, get comfortable. Either you want the success and be careful what you're asking God for, because he's going to give it to you. And it may not be how you want it to come to you all the time. God is a very unorthodox God and he will show it to you. But if it comes to you, either it's going to be a learning experience or it's going to be your greatest success, what
Yeah.
you want it to be. Whatever you
Mhm.
do, you're still winning. And understand that even if you don't get that deal at that time, you're still among the great.
Yeah, the
Try it
fact that you
again
even
next
had the
time.
opportunity to do that is like
Absolutely.
a huge
Absolutely.
deal. Where are
Oh
you
yeah.
now? So you got the deal, you got the 2 golden tickets. That was
Yeah.
October. currently
25th.
filming this. I won't say the month, but we know what month it is. Like
Right.
where are you now in the process of like fulfillment and selling? Like are you like actually in stores or online now? Like how does that work?
So so we've been had an online presence. So we're on the Walmart marketplace, we're on Amazon marketplace, we're in over 200 stores out in the Midwest, West Coast. So I'm working on getting the product mainly here because I do a lot of my shows, pop-up shops and everything here in the DC area. So it's about building the audience here in the
Yeah.
DC area. So if you have anyone that's looking to take on this poor soul for marketing, let me know because I definitely need to get the audience jumping here in the DMV area because it's a great product. Not because I say so, but because I've seen what it has done for my clients. And even my husband uses
And
it.
this is
And
the
yeah,
beard.
the beard oil. I have a hypopigmentation leave-in conditioner that helps even out skin tones, unclog pores. It's really awesome, right? And so, and he loves it. And my husband is very funny about everything. He's like, I
Mhm.
don't want to do it. He African. He think he know everything. Sincerely.
Look,
But
say less, girl. We know.
okay, so I it's so now we're in the process. So it's really a whole process. So when people say, "Oh, I've landed a deal with Walmart," understand it's a entire process. This is a journey. You don't just say, "Oh, you got a deal and you're in stores tomorrow." So we're in the
Mhm.
process of their process. So
Okay.
that's all I can really say is that we're in their process right now, but we're moving forward. So hopefully by the end of this year, early next year, we'll fully be in the stores. And so what I'm going to say speculation, what has held up the transition with this is because some of the stores in DC are closing down because of loss prevention and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
now we have to reallocate the stores and all of that, but we're coming. And
Yeah,
I
that
will
one
make sure.
on H
And when
Street.
we launch, I'm gonna give this to you. When we do launch, you'll be the first one to get it on your podcast. How
Eh,
about that?
I love it.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
so when you do the deal, is it like for a certain amount of time or is it kind of indefinite or based off of how your sales do?
So it depends. So it depends on if you're going in for the what is it called? The pilot program, or it just depends on the number. Depends on the store. So a lot is still riding on it, and so we're in that process now of figuring out the store. So we can't really talk about numbers until we figure out the stores and what the expectations are. But
Gotcha.
what I do know is that every deal goes into, not unless you're like a seasonal item. So say you have like cherry ginger ale or something like that. That's a seasonal item, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that'd be for a certain amount of time. But because mine is a staple product, it's year round. And so
Mm-hmm.
we just have to figure out how many stores we're going to be in, and we just have to see how the sales do. That's with everything. So when I tell you this has been a learning experience, so from the eye level shelving space, you have to pay for that. You want to be on the end cap, you have to pay for that. This is a whole other ball game.
Got it. Okay, so strategic based off of how people shop and them seeing your
How people
product
shop,
and
yeah, the demographic areas, everything, all of that takes, plays a role in it. But I think for me, I'm gonna tell you what I think did it for me with the Walmart deal is I went in there and I started running them numbers. See, this is where my engineering degree came in because I'm
okay.
a numbers girl, right? And so he was like, "Well, why should we do numbers here, and why did you pick these areas?" And I said, "Well, here's the thing. You are looking at young Black professionals. You are missing a core demographic area to shop and bring revenue into your store. Who better for you to partnership than me? I'm
Mm-hmm.
young, I'm professional, and I'm a Black woman that knows how to get a man's attention.
And we know
So
Black women go get it done every single time.
we gonna get it done every time." So he says, "Well, who's your core audience?" I said, "Women." He said, "But you're selling a men's product." I said, "How many times have you gone into a store to go and look for a product?" The
Right.
vast
Let your lady do it
majority
for you.
are women. Women, we know how we want our men to smell. And guess what? Your man get a free massage. And then I started massaging my husband's face. And he said, "Well, oh boy, oh boy." So yes, just have fun with it. Whatever it's going to be for you is going to be for you. Be authentic to yourself. And I think I would have messed it up trying to be corporate America when it wasn't that environment.
Yeah.
And I just went in there and I was true to myself. I know how to carry myself professionally, but I wanted to be my authentic self, because when you call me in June or July, you might see me with a bonnet on my head because I'm just rolling out of bed or
Right.
something like that. But my knowledge is going to be my knowledge. You might see me up underneath of a car because I'm changing oil or changing a tire. I'm that kind of girl. So I'm not in stilettos and skirts and cutie on duty all day. I come with a lot of layers of me. In order to love me and to like me, you have to understand the layers. You
Yeah.
have to understand that I'm going to be authentically me. I'm going to show up. If I show you that love, I'm going to show up for you. I don't allow everyone to attach to me to be friends. I can't be everyone's friend. And I can't allow you to be friend to me, because I don't know if you're here because you've heard about my success or if you've witnessed my success. And I have to be very cognizant about my circle.
That's so true. That's so true.
So those are some of
So,
the things I've learned in my 40s, and I'm very cognizant of my time. I'm very focused on what I allow myself to attach to, what I detach from, and how much time I'm going to give you.
okay.
And that's the beauty of being in my 40s.
You live and you learn. That's what they mean. You live and you learn.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
ma'am.
So
Yes.
right
Oh, and let me
now,
tell you this. This is the newest line from EllisJai. Let me see, where is that? It's the lip
what happened?
line. There
Okay,
you
yeah.
go. That's the little
Uh-huh.
lip line right there. So
Is
that's
that
the
what you
newest
have on
thing.
right now?
That's what I have on now.
Okay.
So, um, I'm always doing something. So that's my latest creation. So
Oh,
is the
look, I'm
lip
like,
line.
where do you get the money to do these things? Or is it not as expensive as we probably think it is to start a line?
No, it's a little bit expensive. It's gonna
Okay.
take some change. So it depends on how aggressive you want to be. I'm a Scorpio by nature, so we just overzealous with everything. It's like go hard or go home, don't waste my time type of thing. But you remember, I told you I'm a civil engineer. So and I don't I live I'm very frugal, if you will. So when you
Okay.
see my money, it's in travel, it's in my family. I don't have an expensive car. I
hmm
I'm very careful about my money. So most of my money is just recycled back into my business, which has been a blessing to where I haven't had to get loans and all of that stuff. I've really funded all three of my companies with my own money.
Okay.
But
Okay.
for a business, for you, I think for you to really to solidify your position in business, you need to be able to elevate and use other people's money.
hmm
Shifting. I'm shifting. It's been a blessing and a curse to be able to have and be able to fund my own endeavors. But and a lot of the work I can do myself because I'm the chemist. I don't need to have anyone to mix things up and to play around with the mixes and all of that stuff, because I know all of the compounds and whatnot. So that saved a lot of money.
Right.
And I do a lot of research, and um, nowadays you can go to Alibaba to get your bottles and all of that stuff. So if you shop around and be willing to do a little bit of research, you can save yourself a lot of money and still have a massive empire.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I love that. And how are you preparing for expansion? Like as far as products go and having inventory to, sell for yourself when you do trade shows, sell on your own site, sell on Walmart, Amazon. Like how are you preparing to blow up and fulfill these orders?
So it's funny, but I'm telling you, I have already started implementing different things. So
hmm
my lab and warehouse in Ashburn takes care of all of what I'm doing now, like my daily operations. And so I've already acquired distribution, two distribution centers and another manufacturing company to handle all these other bigger deals that are coming. And I'm also looking for four more distribution companies out in the Midwest, so we can cut down on the logistics and all of that stuff, so we can get the product
That's
out
so
a
fun.
little faster. And on top of that, when you're linking up with like Walmart and Amazon, you want to utilize their SBAs and their WSF, just because they already had a product in stock.
And what's that? What's that? SBAs
So
and
that's the
W.
warehouse. That's the Walmart fulfillment center.
Got you. Okay.
So they had, so it's just like the Amazon Prime and all of that stuff. So they have their own warehouses. And so if you send the shipment and
Got you.
stuff there,
And
you
they'll
don't
ship
have
it
to,
out for you.
they ship it out for you. Cost a little bit, but it's okay. And another thing is that you want to in my partnership with I don't know if you read about it, but my partnership with Upscale Magazine has actually opened up a lot of doors too. So when people see like, oh well, what, dang, they have a strong partnership with with the media company, Upscale Magazine is connected with Bronner Brothers. And
Mm-hmm.
so those doors and me being able to network and intermingle with those types of people have actually brought a lot of my distribution connects to me. So those relationships mean a lot because, and I'll tell you one funny story. I don't know how much time we have, but let me tell you this one funny story. I have been doing hair, like I said, for over 30 years and I've been in the beauty industry for 30 years. Let me say that.
Uh-huh.
And it's been so funny because I said I was going to be one of the big wigs at the Bronner Brothers show. Well,
Uh-huh.
did $22,000 I done took my team out. So I took them on a vacation the week before so we can gear up and we can be in Miami. And we did that show. When I tell you, I told you I just invested $22,000 in this, right? My
Mm-hmm.
team, client, product, everything. Ask me how much I made.
Oh
Ask
no,
me.
when you went to Bronner Brothers? I don't know how much. Look.
$625.
Really?
$625. My inventory was damaged. My butters had melted everywhere because the carrier company delivered my packages a day early. Thank God nobody stole them.
Oh
It,
my
when
God.
I tell you everything that could go wrong, went wrong, but it was my greatest blessing because I met my mentor, AJ from Meltdown. He's the one he's the creator of Meltdown product.
Okay.
He's the one that helped me launch the EllisJai line. So when I
Nice.
tell you it's about the connections, I was literally in the middle of the floor having a nervous breakdown. I couldn't hide it. I couldn't get to the bathroom fast enough before I started crying. I had spent my mortgage money. Listen, I am telling you, I have sacrificed so much, and I was so mad. I said $625, and he sent these people over there to be so mean to me. These mean girls. He said mean girls over there, and they flipping my bonnet upside down and being nasty and moving stuff around on my table. And I guess he wanted to see because he was looking for someone to give this mentorship to.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my God. And so I see this Arab guy like standing there. And I was like, dang, he kind of cute. So I don't like my husband is next to me, right? And he like standing there and he say, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, sir, no, you cannot. I am not in the best place. I'm shutting down a day early from this Bronner Brothers show. I said, what can I help you with? And he says, I want to introduce myself. And I said, okay, my husband is right here. You can talk to him. I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm just totally beside myself. My mother is sitting there like Queen Bee. Nobody is helping me sell this product. Everybody's sitting behind the table. So y'all just got a whole free vacation a week before and nobody want to work? Oh, y'all
Right.
fired.
Fired, fired, fired.
You're fired, fired. You're fired. You're fired. And he said, I've been watching you. He said, and I want you to know that I admire you. He said, you have a great product. He said, but you lack focus. This man, he didn't know me from nothing. He didn't know me
Mm-hmm.
from anything. But when I tell you, he gave me honest, constructive criticism. And I definitely didn't know he was getting ready to offer me this mentorship. And he said, you see that booth over there, all of them people, they like jumping and it's popping over there, right? And I said, yeah, it's really popping over there. Well, kudos to him. He said, well, I am him. I said, what are you doing over here? Only booth. And he said, because I see you. He said, when I tell you I see you, I see you. He said, if you don't mind, can I give you a hug?
Oh,
When I tell you, I damn near dropped to my knees because I was just overwhelmed. I
yeah.
was broken. And at that point, I really wanted to just, I was just like, this hair care line is too much. It was a huge undertaking. I jumped out there and I just jumped out there. I jumped out there. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, what am I supposed to do now? And he said, I want you to call me. He said, don't worry about it. So when I made the bulk of my $625, it was that day after that conversation with him. When I tell you I was selling out, boom, 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 boom. But we was already on the last day.
Mm-hmm.
And it just lit a fire in me. And the fact that this man, he said, I've sent these two women over here. I know they was a little bit mean to you. He said, but your character speaks for itself and you've been consistent. And I just wanted to see the character of the woman that I'm getting ready to get this internship to, this
Okay.
mentorship to. And I said, what does that mean? I don't have any money. I spent all of my money. I'm broke. I'm broke. I'm broken. And he said, no, don't speak that. He said, you're not broke. He said, it's just a matter of shifting. He said, I want you to go home and I want you to regroup. And I'm going to call you. And he called me. And
Mm-hmm.
this man invested in me. I have my first 5 stores opened up with him. That's how I got
Wow.
my product in the first 5 stores. And it's just been pushing ever since.
That's
It's been
great.
pushing ever since. And I've done the bulk of my business in the Midwest because that's where he's from. He's from Alabama. And
That's
so a lot of my business has been through, and I'm very strategic about promoting my business to other Black owned businesses just to build up our community. It's for us, by us, made for us. So let's do it. And
mm-hmm.
that's been my motto from this point, from this point forward. And that's what it's going to be.
I love that. And I love when, because I know how I feel sometimes when it feels like, you're putting in all the work, nobody sees
Yeah.
you, nobody, but obviously he saw something in you. You look like I was about to say, you look like you
Yeah, there
shifted.
you go. Sorry.
He saw something in you and wanted to pour into you. But at the end of the day, like, what do you envision or what do you want your legacy to be with in the beauty industry with everything that you're doing?
My legacy is to make a dynamic product that people can use throughout the family. And I want it to be known that at the end of the day, I was a solid person. I'm a solid business person in business, and I'm a solid person outside of business. I never want anyone to question my character.
Yeah, I love that. Is there anything that's coming up next that you can share with us? I know some stuff is like, hush hush, but
I can. So we'll actually be doing we'll be down at the waterfront. I'll send you the details, but we'll
okay.
be down at the waterfront. We're actually doing a collaboration with Wonder Wine that's right there at the National Harbor.
Okay.
We're
I know
getting ready to
exactly
do
what
a
it is.
3-day event down
Mm-hmm.
there. So we'll be down there with Upscale Magazine. EllisJai will be on deck. So we'll 5-star beauty collection. And so it's going down. It's going to be huge. And we're also looking to collaborate with Salamander. We haven't gotten confirmation yet, but those are some of the things that are on the come up.
I love
So
that. She's a
yeah, I'm
hustler,
really
y'all. She gonna
excited
go out
about
if
it.
it's one thing Jay's gonna do, she gonna go out and get it. I like it.
I'm gonna go and get it. I'm gonna get it because we need it in our community. I'm gonna get it.
It's so admirable. It's really admirable. Oh my gosh. So before you go, I have to ask you the Friends and Beauty rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So whatever comes to your mind first, just go ahead and spit it out. If you need to elaborate, that's fine too.
Okay.
So the first one is, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
So far, maintaining being true to myself, always delivering quality products that I will always want to use, and be authentic.
I love that. How do you measure your success?
My success is about a 5 to me because I have a lot of work to do. Yes.
So like a 5 out of 10?
A 5 out of 10. Yeah.
You being
I
hard on
still have a lot of
yourself.
work to do. Yes,
You being
ma'am.
hard. I don't believe that. I would beg to differ, but we gonna move. I'm gonna let you have it. But I think it's more, ma'am, the story that you just told me, a lot of people would have been like, oh, we landed in North Carolina. I guess that's it. Like a lot of people would have given up. The fact that you
Yeah.
even pushed through and continue to 10 out of 10 already. Shoot.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. I just know that I still have a lot of footwork to do. I have a lot of
Yeah.
shoes to fill. So
Yeah.
I'm still grinding.
Okay. All right. What is the best advice you've ever received or a piece of advice that's just like always stuck with you?
I love it when I don't think that I've done a whole lot for someone and I'm able to touch someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing that could ever happen. And that has happened to me, is for somebody to come back and say, thank you for giving me my hair back, my confidence. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for just being a friend. I know you don't even know me, but thank you for just listening and being a good friend. That means the world to me, because a lot of days I'm going through my own bouts. And a lot of times I have to compartmentalize and just realize that there are people out here that's going through things worse than you. Some of the things that you're going through have been due to your own doing or not, for me. And being able to be transparent with myself and to own and stand in my own ish, if you will, I'm excited about who I have become, but I'm even more excited to learn the woman that I'm becoming.
Yeah, I love that. What advice would you give to another beauty brand owner right now who is just not seeing the results, they're not seeing the return, and they're just like, maybe I should just quit this thing and just go back to corporate?
Don't give up. If it's your passion won't let you sleep. Your passion will never let you sleep. In your flesh, you might be saying, oh, I'm just going to give up. But your passion will never let you sleep. It won't let you rest. And I would say focus on one product. Don't do like I did, I think I launched like 12 products at one time.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
It was insane because I didn't know which one would sell out the best. Focus on one product, your hero product. Focus on that, and all of the other sales will come.
Yeah, I like that. What is a resource that helps you in your business that you can share with the Friends in Beauty community?
Align with the SBA. Align with the SBA, the SBDC. Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with like-minded people. And understand that everybody that you grew up with won't transition over with you.
Yep. Period.
Be comfortable. Yep. Be comfortable in your discomfort.
I like that. Be comfortable in your discomfort. Okay. So the last one, I just want you to fill in the blank and just say, my name is blank. And the key to longevity and success is blank, like whatever you think it is.
Okay. So you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Go for it.
That's for you. I want you to say that.
So my name is Jai Ellis, and my key to longevity is always delivering above and beyond, and treat your customers and your potential clientele base the way that you want to be treated. Never give them anything less, because they deserve the best like you do.
And that's on period. Before you go, Jai, please share like your social media information, website, whatever you want people to do to connect with you further, follow you on your journey, purchase some products for Bay, all the things, purchase some products for themselves, whatever you want to share.
Yes. Okay. So these lips are on a million, baby. I love my lip line. So you can get that at EllisJai.com. That is EllisJai.com. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at I am the real EllisJai. And as far as 5-Star Beauty Collection, that's the numerical 5-star STAR beautycollection.com. And you can follow all social handles with that same name, 5-Star Beauty Collection. If you're looking for services, you can go to 5-Star, the numerical 5-Star Mobile Salon. And we're in the DMV area, and we do travel. So we do have a lot of travel parties and all of that stuff where we go and do hair and all of that. But for the products, you can go to 5-Star Beauty Collection and EllisJai. And all of our website information, all of our information will always cross-reference itself, so you can always find us at all points in time.
I know that's right. Period. Well, thank you so much, Jai. This has been an amazing conversation, and I'm really, really excited for everything that you have coming down the pipeline. I feel like with the energy that you're putting behind it and your ambition and your drive, like it's going to be phenomenal. So I'm really excited just to see how everything continues to unfold for you.
Thank you. I'm excited. So don't be surprised when I come. Like, okay, we're fully launching. So we're already on Walmart Marketplace. So you can find us there if you're looking for the products. But we'll physically be in stores in just a few short months.
All right. We look forward to it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. give it a thumbs up and subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.